Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call the Thursday, October 9th, 2025 Plaquemines Parish School Board regular school board meeting to order. It is 6:01 p.m. and we are at the Woodland Central Office, 1484 Woodland Highway, room 100 in Belchase, Louisiana. Let's move to item 1.02, which is our invocation. And I'd like to introduce the gentleman who is doing our invocation tonight, and with a lot of pride, I'd like to introduce this gentleman. Tonight we have the Reverend William F. Maestri. He's a Roman Catholic priest of the Archdiocese of New Orleans. He was ordained in 1977. The majority of his priestly ministry has been devoted to the fields of education and media communication. His teaching experience includes various faculty positions in elementary, secondary, university, and professional schools, which is great because we're here at the school board. Within the Archdiocese of New Orleans, Father Maestri served as superintendent of Catholic schools as well as director of communications. And he served in both of those roles in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina and the immediate rebuilding of the Archdiocese of New Orleans. And that's definitely a feather in his cap. He authored The Archdiocese of New Orleans and Hurricane Katrina, a story of hope in a time of destruction, published 5 years after the devastating storm. Relating to Father Maestri's education and communications ministry are some 40 books and 12 audiovisual programs he's authored. He's been honored twice by the Catholic Press Association for Excellence in General Commentary with a first place award for Best Campaign in the Public Interest, Parental Choice, and Education. His weekly columns for the Clarion Herald, a Catholic journal published in New Orleans, covered a broad range of issues and themes, both secular and religious. Of special interest to Father Maestri is the interface of faith with social culture and politics, especially the public role of religion within the public square. Father Maestri currently serves on the pastoral team at Our Lady of Perpetual Help Catholic Church in Belchase, Louisiana, where he oversees the ministry of sacraments and education and also regularly celebrates Holy Mass. And I'm honored to say I'm usually in attendance whenever he is giving his fantastic homilies. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored once again to say I welcome Father William Maestri to the podium for tonight's invocation. Everyone, please rise.
I may have had all that, but I can't find a podium. When is the last time you've seen a priest who couldn't find a microphone? This is pathetic. Thank you. That's okay. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. O Holy Spirit, divine dove from above, let us see with light from thee. Help us look beyond the me, so as to see the way to go here below. In our debates, let us not berate, humiliate. Let civility mark our speech. Banish all hostility. Respect for all be our true beatitude. Clear our hearts of bitterness. Replace with the grace of kindness. Teach us the lesson true, that in togetherness we are at our best. Lay aside what divides. Let us speak softer, that we may be listened to longer. May we see common ground before we engage on the battleground. In our discourse, too often coarse, let us elevate to that higher place, where thy grace opens us one to another, a fellow sister, a good brother. While all cannot have their way, let all have their say, not just to hear, but with that ear open to what might be right. O Holy Spirit, grant us insight, for in humility there is our true victory. We cannot see around the bend, nor know the end. Please grant us that courage to look beyond the years, tears, and scars, to that shining star which lights the way to a better day. Let us not hesitate or timid be, for Holy Spirit, we are one with thee. Dear friends, amen. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Father Maestri.
Thank you.
Please remain standing as we will now call up Miss Darielle Williamson, who's a 9th grade student at South Plaquemines High. She will lead us in tonight's Pledge of Allegiance. Miss Darielle, please take the podium.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Williamson. Thank you, Father Maestri. I'd just like to give a little plug for the OLPH Fair, which is this weekend. So if you're out there at the fair, go to Mass while you're there. Maybe Father Maestri will give a few good words there as well. Let's move on to our next item, which is 1.03, Dr. Ritz, our roll call and declaration of a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. President. District 1, Ms. Darlene DeMol Turner.
Here.
District 2, Ms. Jamie K. Sauer.
Here.
District 3, Mr. Nico Tesvich.
Present.
District 4, Ms. Christy Orbro. District 5, Ms. Michelle Lindner.
Here.
District 6, Ms. Jennifer Shelley.
Here.
District 7, Mr. Bobby Ingraham.
Here.
District 8, Mr. Paul Lemaire.
Here.
District 9, Ms. Jennifer Sanger. Mr. President, you have a quorum.
Excellent. 7 and 2 tonight. I guess now we need to approve tonight's agenda. Do I hear a motion to do so?
I make a motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Turner and Ms. Lindner. We don't have any changes on our agenda from the published agenda, so unless anybody has any comments. Public. All right, we'll go ahead and vote to approve this one. All those in favor of approving tonight's agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving on to number 2, recognitions and/or presentations. I'd like to call up Miss Jamie G. Blanchard, our CAO, for 2.01 recognition for Plaquemines Parish Kindergarten through 3rd grade teachers of literacy.
Hi, good evening, everyone. We wanted to take a moment tonight to recognize the outstanding teachers, leaders, literacy coaches, and school staff from our kindergarten through 3rd grade campuses. At its August meeting in Baton Rouge, the Louisiana Board of Elementary and Secondary Education presented our school district, Plaquemines Parish Schools, with a banner and recognized our school system for ranking not only among the top districts in the state on the statewide literacy screener, but also among the top improving districts on the statewide literacy screener. This is the screener known as more commonly as DIBELS, the Dynamic Indicators of Basic Early Literacy Skills, which is a test that's proven to show indicators of whether students are on track to being readers by the end of 3rd grade, which is, as you can tell, pretty important by the end of 3rd grade to be a strong on-grade level reader. Again, tonight we'd like to recognize the hardworking teachers and staff of our elementary schools who make this achievement possible by providing high-quality instruction, fostering a love of reading, and ensuring that every child in our system builds a strong foundation for future academic success. Thank you all to those of you who are present and those who couldn't be in attendance with us tonight. If you're a kindergarten through 3rd grade literacy teacher, would you please wave? And now we'll take a picture with our banner. So if you guys, teachers, leaders, literacy coaches, anybody that impacts those reading scores, if you'd like to come up, and I will take our picture.
Maybe put a couple people in chairs.
There we go.
Okay, I'm pretty ready. 1, 2, 3. Thank you all very much.
That's a great recognition, a great award to be ranked in the top of the state once again for something else. I know a lot of us, myself included, saw DIBELS as a challenge, but we rose to it. We rose to it, and I mean, the banner speaks for itself. The efforts of our teachers and the results of what they do with the kids in the district speaks for itself. So that's awesome.
And Mrs. Tesvich, I'd like to add, I received an email yesterday from the State Department They are honoring Plaquemines Parish once again. Grades 3 to 8 math scores were within the top 5 in the state. So they've called us to come back this Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, of course, our previous last year's Teacher of the Years, they'll be honored on Wednesday with a little special moments with some State Department people. Then I received another email 2 days ago that is recognizing our social studies scores. They want to have a conference call with us to find out what are the secrets and the strategies we're using for the success in social studies. Now remember, social studies assessment last year was brand new in regards to being scored in them. And the results were incredible, which we were very happily pleased as well, because you never know when it's the big first assessment. So with that being said, the awards just keep coming because of the great teachers that we have in those classrooms and the leaders that are taking that strong stance that the priorities of academic excellence is the standard now. So thank you.
That's excellent. Board members, anything else on this? All right. Well, thank you to all those leaders and educators, the literacy coaches that make it all happen. Let's move on to number 3, our consent agenda items. In case you don't know, what we do is a lot of our items that we vote on go through committee. Those committee items are approved in committee, and then they go to the consent agenda with a recommendation from that committee. And then we vote on all of them in one shot. And if a board member wants to pull one of those items for further discussion at a board meeting, they can do so. But what we'll go through is we'll read each of them. If a board member wants to pull the item, please let me know after I finish reading it. We'll come back and vote on that one or discuss that one separately. Otherwise, we're just going to vote on all of them at the end of the consent agenda item list. So with all that being said, number 3, consent agenda items. The following committee meetings were held on Monday, September 15th, 2025 at the district's Woodland Central office, located at 1484 Woodland Highway, room 100, Bellchase, Louisiana, 70037. The Budget and Finance Committee is chaired by Board Member Christy Arbrough. The Policy Review Committee is chaired by Board Member Jamie K. Sauer, and the Executive Committee is chaired by Board President Nico Tesvich. Based on the recommendations from each of the respective committees, the following items are being submitted to the full board for consideration of approval. And once again, board members, if you would like to pull an item, please let me know. Item 3.01, policy. Discussion and/or action regarding approval of the following items. A, Head Start and Special Education Memorandum of Understanding. B, interagency agreement between Head Start and Plaquemines Parish School Board Transportation Department. C, Head Start and Plaquemines Parish Board Memorandum of Understanding. D, Head Start Annual Public Report. E, Head Start Family Handbook. F, Pre-K Handbook. And G, Early Care Family Handbook. Person responsible is Patricia Haydell, Director of Early Childhood. Recommendation by the committee, approve items A through G as presented. Item 3.02, policy. Discussion and/or action regarding approval of PPSB Special Education Department Discipline Procedural Manual. Person responsible is Mary Ellen Hamner, Director of Special Education. Recommendation is to approve the PPSB Special Education Discipline Procedural Handbook as presented. Item 3.03, policy. Discussion and/or action regarding the approval of Section 504 Procedures Handbook. Dr. Lori Roussel, Supervisor of Child Welfare and Attendance. Recommendation, approve Section 504 Procedures Handbook as presented. Item 3.04, Executive. Discussion and/or action regarding industrial tax exemption application number 202204228-ITE for Stolthaven New Orleans LLC. Person responsible is Nico Tesvich, Board President. Recommendation is to approve ITEP, Industrial Tax Exemption Program, application number 202204228-ITE for Stolthaven New Orleans LLC as presented. Item 3.05, Executive. Discussion and/or action regarding board action authorizing the board president to negotiate terms of sale for properties beneficial to the capital improvement plan. Nico Tesvich, Board President. Recommendation. Approve the board president as the authorized representative acting on behalf of the board as a whole to negotiate the terms of the sale of properties beneficial to the capital improvement program plan. All right, hearing that no items were pulled, we'll move on to item 3.06, which is the approval of all those consent agenda items. Is there any discussion on the approval of all the consent agenda, is there a motion to approve all of the consent agenda items?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Ms. Linder.
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Sauer. Any discussion on the approval, folks? Anyone in the audience? All right, hearing no further comments, let's go ahead and approve these consent agenda items in globo. All those in favor of approving signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you, board members. I appreciate that. Also, I wanted to point out that the representatives from Stolthaven did come tonight in case we pulled the item. So thank y'all for coming. Thank y'all for being a good community partner. We appreciate that. And I know y'all are over on the East Bank, but the whole parish is a fan of y'all's from what I understand. So thank you. All right, moving on to item number 4, or section number 4, which is other board items. Item number 4.01, discussion and/or action regarding potential conflict regarding the Bell Chase Toll Bridge. Nico Tesovich, Board President. There's a footnote on this item that says that we may enter into executive session to potential litigation, presumably entitled Plaquemines Parish District Attorney versus the State of Louisiana and Plenary Americas, Inc. et al. Regarding this toll dispute. I talked to our legal advisor and Mr. Ballet before the meeting. Because this is involving potential litigation, I felt, and Mr. Barr also felt, that this would be best to go into executive session to discuss with the district attorney, because it's pending litigation. So I would like to do that if there is a motion to do so by the board. Is that the right procedure, Mr. Barr? Just checking. Okay, gotcha.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Ms. Shelley.
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Linder. Any discussion about the board going to executive session to discuss this potential litigation from the board members? Administration? Okay. Audience? Okay, so before we go into executive session, I'd just like to remind everybody in the audience, we do have to clear the room, except for board members, Mr. Ballet, legal team, Dr. Ritz, to discuss the items. But we will call you all back in. I spoke to Mr. Ballet before the meeting. I think we're looking at maybe 15 minutes. So should be pretty quick for an executive session. Wait, hold on. We have to vote, folks. Hold on. Board members, all those in favor of going to executive session signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, folks, we'll have you all wait in the hall and we'll discuss
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Lemare and Ms. Sauer. Any discussion? Questions? All right, all those in favor of returning from executive session signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And of course, there were no decisions made, no board actions taken in executive session. Board members, after that executive session, I'd like to ask for an amendment on one of our agenda items. I would like to change item 4.01 to now read discussion and/or action regarding potential conflict regarding the Bell Chase Toll Bridge, and to authorize the board president with the authority to take legal action on behalf of the board, if necessary, regarding the Bell Chase Bridge, with the purpose of eliminating the public burden of tolls and fees and possibly recoup lost sales taxes.
I'll make a motion to amend 4.01.
Thank you, Ms. Linden. Is there a second? Thank you, Ms. Turner. Any discussion on amending the agenda? Board members, administration, audience? Okay, folks, because we're amending our agenda, we should take a roll call vote on this one. So, Dr. Ritz, could you do a roll call vote for us, please?
Yes, sir, I'd be happy to. District 1, Ms. Darrell Demal Turner.
Yes.
District 2, Ms. Jamie K. Sauer.
Yes.
District 3, Ms. Danica Tesfich.
Yes.
District 4, Ms. Christy Obra. District 5, Ms. Michelle Lindner.
Yes.
District 6, Ms. Jennifer Shelley.
Yes.
District 7, Mr. Bobby Ingraham.
Yes.
District 8, Mr. Paul Lemare.
Yes.
District 9, Ms. Jennifer Sanger. And the votes are 7-0.
Okay, so let the record reflect we had a unanimous vote to change an agenda item. Now, I'd like to hear a motion to approve that agenda item.
I'll make a motion. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Paul.
Who wants the 1 and who wants the 2?
I'll second it.
All right, so Ms. Sauer and Mr. Lemare. All right, thank you, guys. So, for the public, just to clarify, what we're looking at doing is, we know that the Bell Chase Bridge has been a definite concern. We've heard from Senate testimony, social media posts, a lot of different things about a lot of questionable things going on with this Bell Chase Bridge. We believe, or I'm saying that I believe, I guess, I believe that there's a wrong that's happening in Plaquemines Parish, and we need to make a right. And if we have to take legal action to do so, then so be it, let's do it. And we don't want to slow that down. We want to make sure that that process is going to be fast and efficient. We don't want to drag our feet, and we want to make sure that we're doing the right things for not just the people of the parish, but for our kids and for our teachers. Because, you know, charging $5 million in tolls is one thing. Charging $6 million in fees on top of it is just ludicrous. It's literally highway robbery. So what my stance is whatever we can do to make this right and encourage the governor and the legislature to fix this problem, we should move forward with. Of course, if it's unnecessary to enter any lawsuit, we won't enter a lawsuit. If the problem gets fixed without us having to do so, so be it. But if we need to take legal action, I want to make sure we're doing it fast. So that's why I'm looking to ask the board to authorize the board president to do this so we can start those talks and get the ball rolling. Of course, if we're going to enter any lawsuit, it's going to come back before this board table, and we're going to discuss it and make sure that we're all good with it before we move forward on it. So that's my comments on that. Comments by y'all.
I agree.
Maybe explain to them that the sales tax that we would lose, that we are losing now. The public needs to know.
Yeah, so people not coming into the parish, right? You know, B&B Tackle, one of the owners of B&B Tackle gave testimony in front of the Senate Transportation Committee saying, you know, his business is off 40% from where it was because people aren't going over that bridge and shopping at his tackle store anymore. People aren't going to Salvo's anymore. Like, in fact, in the Senate committee, I made the statement that when I go into Salvo's now, I know everybody in there. Well, that's not a good thing because there should be people coming from Metairie, from Harvey, from Herrero, from St. Bernard coming in, and they're not going to Salvo's anymore because they don't want to pay those tolls to get in. And you know, it's a black eye, it's a stigma. People don't want to do business in Plaquemines Parish. People don't want to go to Little G's or to Alfonso Seafood or shop at some of the boutiques that we have here, right? Business owners are hurting because of this, and that's lost sales tax revenue. We're losing money in the parish because of the bridge. And what does it affect? It affects kids. It affects money coming in, and it affects those kids. So thank you, Mr. Lemire, for asking me to clarify that. Did that answer your question?
Yes. The public to know that we are losing money in the school system to educate our kids. So,
That's right. And we even pay tolls on our fleet vehicles, right?
Well, we got some of those fixed.
Okay, good. But we were paying
Yeah, we
some
were
of our
having,
fleet
monstrous-
vehicles across. Thank goodness school buses don't have to pay the toll. But
Yeah. It took a little bit to get David Dixon and Leanne and Adrian, took a little bit of extra effort to get some cars done.
Yeah. And it's just, you know, it hits me hard because somebody at that meeting said, you know, I live on the north side of the bridge. If I cross the bridge, I got to pay a toll. Well, what if you got a grandkid that's going to get an honor roll certificate at Belle Chase Middle School? You got to pay the toll to cross the bridge. What if you got to go vote? What if you got to go vote at, you know, at the White Auditorium? You got to pay a toll to go vote. You know, to come to one of our meetings, to go to a council meeting, you got to go vote. If you got to go to court, you got to pay a toll. That's
If they used to have a Belle Chase doctor.
That's right. To go to visit the doctor, or what if you live on the north side of the bridge? You got a Belle Chase PO box. You got to pay a toll to go to your PO box. So it's not right. It's not right. Anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right, administration. Anything y'all want to add?
No, sir.
Audience, any questions, comments on this agenda item? All right. Well, thank you all for listening. I appreciate it, Mr. Lemire. Thank you for your clarification. But let's go ahead and call this item to a vote. All board members in favor of the amended agenda item, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no opposition, motion carries 7-0. Thank you, board members. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Ballet. I think you already left. Thank you, Mr. Barr and Dr. Ritz, for all of your help in those things. Moving on, item 4.02, discussion and/or action regarding approval of ad hoc and standing committee reports. Nico Tesvich, Board President. Do I hear a motion to approve our committee reports? Thank you, Ms. Shelley. Thank you, Mr. Ingraham. Any discussion regarding those reports? They're all included in the board packet, of course. Administration, anything to add?
No, sir.
Audience, questions about the committee reports? All right, hearing no further questions or discussions, all those in favor of the approval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no opposition, motion carries. 4.03, discussion and/or action regarding approval of minutes from September 4, 2025, regular board meeting. Nico Tesvich, Board President. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Ms. Turner.
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Linder. And of course, this is approving our minutes from our last regular board meeting. Of course, those minutes are also posted in our official journal for the parish. You can read it publicly as well as online. Any questions? Board members, administration, audience? Hearing no further questions or comments, let's call this item to a vote. All those in favor of the approval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Next up, item 4.04, discussion and/or action regarding approval of budget versus actuals, general fund, July 2025. Ms. Catherine Phelan, CFO.
Good evening. Tonight you have before you the July budget versus actuals for the general fund. You will note on page 2 that the total revenues are $149 million under. That is normal for the first month in our fiscal year, which begins on July. Typically, we do not receive most of our revenues until 45 to 60 days for sales tax after the month, and then ad valorem or property tax is received January through March. If you will please flip to page 6, you will notice that Our expenditures are $80.7 million under budget. This is typical because we're only 1 month into the fiscal year compared against 12 months of budget. Our fund balance as of July is $353.2 million, which is pretty good. That's all I have on this. Do we have any questions or comments?
Okay, do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Lindner and Ms. Sauer. All right, Ms. Phelan, thanks for coming and doing all that you do to make sure our numbers make sense. We always appreciate that. Any questions, board members, audience, administration? All right, hearing no further discussion, let's approve the budget versus actuals. To approve, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no opposition, motion carries 7-0. Thanks, board members. Thank you, Ms. Phelan. And you can stay there because you have the next one. 4.05, discussion and/or action regarding approval of employee school board health insurance premiums for calendar year 2026. Catherine Phelan, CFO.
I'd like to start off by thanking our board for approving that we go self-funded for calendar year 2025 versus fully funded as we have in years past. What that has allowed us to do, and I know that our employees will be very grateful, is that we are proposing that the employee premium rates remain the same as in calendar year 2024. Now you may ask, how can we do that with healthcare still increasing? Here's why. If you look at the spreadsheet on the board, okay, first notice the employee change is nothing from last year to, from calendar year 2025 to calendar year 2026. The school board change is, thank you, is an increase. All of those increases equal 19.29% in calendar year 2026. So what was the point of us becoming self-funded if we didn't gain an advantage? We did gain an advantage. Mr. Palermo, would you please scroll down the sheet? Down just a little bit, yes, please, thank you.
And over a little bit.
What has happened? Because we are self-funded now, we have significant pharmacy rebates. And the numbers, we received our first rebate of $249.8 thousand. I've estimated the next 3 rebates at $175,000. And then the savings that we saw January through August of 2025 through use of the Access Today healthcare clinics was $134,000. That net cost, after you subtract the rebates that we anticipate receiving, is $9.2 million. When I looked at last year's renewal rates as presented, they were $11.668 million. That is a savings of $2.5 million, or 21%. Compare the 21% projected for 2025 against the 19.29% that the board is going to take on for their premium. And it's pretty much a wash. So what I'm saying is the board at the end of the day will not receive an increase, if any. And I feel this is conservative. I feel this is the worst case scenario. For 2026, again, the board is taking on a 19.29% increase. After you take out the estimated pharmacy rebates, etc., the net cost is $10.5 million. The self-funded cost projected for the board from our insurance broker for 2026 was $12.9 million. Again, a savings of $2.4 million at 18.28%, which is a little bit less than the 19.29%. But again, it's pretty close to a wash, and I feel comfortable in saying these are the worst case scenarios. I'd rather under-promise and over-deliver than the flip side of that. Mr. Palermo, would you please go to the second tab of this file? I just wanted to show you the fully insured on the left, which is how we handled health insurance in years past, versus the self-insured path that we are now on. Again, 19.29%. So we are headed in the right direction. It is a long game, but we, again, thank you all very much for approving self-funded health insurance. Do we have any questions on this part of the presentation?
If I could, I'd just like to say thank you to Ms. Phelan. She's very strategic in her approach in doing things. She's diligent, she's careful, she's very conservative, but she spends her days and her hours in front of a computer trying to have our own money make money. And I appreciate that effort. It's a different mindset, but she couldn't do any of that without the approval that you have given. Mm-hmm. You had the courage to do something different because you know that these agencies' healthcare system is positioned to make money continuously year after year. And you did something different last year, and we appreciate it. We appreciate you taking on the Access to Day Health. You know, Christy Arbrough spent a lot of time meeting with the gentleman before. Ms. Phelan spent time. That was part of the strategy, and it's working. So thank you again for having the courage and the staff and doing something different. But it's a good day for our employees.
Mr. Palermo, could you please flip over to the second file? I want to show the board something about Access Today. We are beating expectations with the use of those clinics, which is a good thing. It reduces our claims cost, and our employees, I have never heard a negative word about this. So we appreciate you all doing what you're doing and making the choices that you're making. If we do not have any questions on this, I'd like to briefly segue just to a short discussion on the United Healthcare versus LCMC contract for anyone who may be watching, and just to inform the board of what's going on with that. Do we have any questions about the premium rates before we segue to that topic.
Do you have any opposition, board members? Go ahead.
All right, I'd like to ask Ms. Cassidy Villanova from Gallagher, our broker, to briefly address the letters that our employees have received regarding United Healthcare and LCMC. Thank you.
All right. Ms. Cassidy, welcome to the mic.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. So just briefly, it's just to share, I know we were just touching base specifically on healthcare cost increasing and rising. Y'all made the great decision of going self-funded and it's working towards you. But currently right now, UHC is under negotiations with LCMC contract that will end at the end of this month, November 1st. LCMC right now is requesting, and I guess before we get into this, it's just for the hospital alone. It's not for physician services or urgent care facilities. So this is specifically for facility services at the actual hospital is what this negotiation is. So this is not going to affect any LCMC physicians that you currently see or any urgent care facilities that you go to. It would just be for services at the hospital. And in an emergent situation, even let's say it goes south and it goes out of network, you would still be covered at the in-network benefit for any emergency situations. So this would specifically be for, again, inpatient services for that. So with that being said, LCMC is asking for about a 40% increase and 20% within that first year. UHC is anticipating that it would be astronomical, and it would also increase the prices more than any other hospital facilities in the New Orleans area and then the greater area outside. So in trying to keep in line with self-funded groups and not impacting employers and employees on the cost of healthcare, they're trying to negotiate that right now. There's also, again, we do anticipate that this will be resolved by the end of the month from both sides. We are keeping the administration up to date with any information that we hear coming from UHC or from LCMC as well on that regard. In the event that you are currently seeking, you have treatment at a hospital, at a LCMC facility, there is continuity of care, which you can apply for in order to continue your treatment should LCMC facilities become out of network after November 1st. But again, we do anticipate that this will get resolved by the end of the month, but we wanted to make sure that you were aware of this in case anyone has received communication from LCMC directly or received the UHC notice. So with that, I can take questions or just wanted to give you an update.
And I owe Mr. Trey Ansardi an apology for not introducing him. He is also part of our benefits team, and both of these people have done a great job in helping us. So if we have no questions, I'd like to ask that the board please approve the employee premium rates for calendar year 2026.
Okay, board members, do we hear a motion? Thank you, Ms. Shelley. And thank you, Mr. Ingraham. All right, board members, questions, comments, concerns? Okay, my question, of course, is what if it doesn't get negotiated, the UHC, LCMC situation? How does that affect us as being a self-funded entity? We're seeing savings, you know, and all that. I heard the number 40% thrown out. If we got to start paying 40% more, that's a concern. What's like? I know, you know, if it was a skiff, we'd all go boat riding, but I like to ask the what if question.
So the what if, essentially, if they can't come to a compromise in the middle, UHC at this point is not agreeing to the increase of 40%. They're trying to at least cut that in half, if not less. So if it doesn't come, LCMC would become out of network starting November 1st if they can't come to an agreement. And that would be, UHC's decision is to, again, try to keep rates in line with the increases that's coming from inflation and contracting as well with that. But self-funded groups, because you're paying for claims, again, if that was accepted at a rate that's above the competitive or the market, you would be impacted, more so than, let's say, a fully insured group who has that risk already taken from United Healthcare.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how great is the risk?
The risk for which way?
For us, how much are we at risk? Because one of my concerns when we first went to self-funded healthcare was this is a big risk. It has great rewards, as we just saw, but it is a big risk to say, all right, we're going to take on that to ourselves rather than spread that risk amongst 100 different school systems across the Gulf South or whatever it may be, or Louisiana, what have you. So so I guess my question then is, what is that risk to us as a self-funded entity?
So looking at your current utilization, LCMC is one of your least or a lower impact of utilization than maybe other hospital systems in the area. But again, if it's at that 40%, United's not going to move forward with it, and it would be out of network. So then you would not be adversely affected by it. What would be adversely affected is any employee currently going to a facility and seeking treatment there. So there would be transition plans, have continuity of care for some of the employees that are still receiving care, and employees and their dependent children and spouses who are on the plan as well for that.
Okay.
May I ask a question? For the fully insured organizations, the impact of the 40% would be passed on to both parties if they signed on for rates for next year. Are they anticipating that?
Correct. So if it would be agreed, if they continue to accept the 40% request, eventually that amount would be reflected in the premium rates or renewal increases that UHC would have to deliver to employers or to groups that way. And then if you did have a plan, let's say that went towards deductible and coinsurance, which most inpatient like hospital services go, it's going to increase and be a burden on the employee as well. So it would be both employee and employer would be impacted if that was accepted at that higher rate. So I think that's why UHC is trying to, again, be advantageous and keep those rates down in order to not have to have that effect on increases.
But the rates wouldn't show up this year, the rates would show up on next year.
Correct, yes.
In January, correct?
No, it would be next school year, right?
It would be the contract would end in November, and then it would go for the renewal or would be impacted.
January of 2026?
It would be January of 2027.
Oh, 27.
Because it renews in November.
Yeah.
And this time it's renewed.
Board members, any other questions? Administration? Audience? All right, hearing nothing further, let's go ahead and call this item to a vote. All those in favor of approving our employee and school board health insurance premiums for calendar year 2026 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all for
Thank you.
an in-depth conversation. All right, moving on. I know we got students here. Thank y'all students for lasting as long as you did through this meeting. You get to see how government works a little bit today. Item 4.06, discussion and/or action regarding approval of out-of-state travel for students from Phoenix High School to visit the Equal Justice Initiative legacy sites in Montgomery, Alabama, October 28th through 30th, 2025, paid for by the Equal Justice Initiative grants. Ms. Jamie Blanchard, CAO, the floor is yours.
Thank you, sir. Tonight, we bring a request from Phoenix. The first request will bring us from Phoenix High School. Phoenix High School has been selected as a recipient of a $13,000 grant from the Equal Justice Initiative. The purpose of this award is to underwrite the cost of travel and provide students with the opportunity to participate in an educational experience at the Legacy Museum in Montgomery, Alabama. This initiative is designed to expand access for high school students across the United States to engage directly with resources that foster a deeper understanding of the nation's history of racial and economic injustice. This is the second consecutive year that Phoenix High School has received the award, and I'm reading specifically from a letter. The grant application in this letter was written by Ms. Janae Tinson, one of the teachers at Phoenix High School. We have Ms. Christy Williams here, the principal of Phoenix High School, to speak on the school's behalf as you have questions. But this grant represents a significant investment in Phoenix High School's students, enabling them to engage in a transformative learning experience. By visiting the Legacy Museum, students will gain historical knowledge, critical perspective, and increased awareness of the ongoing impact of racial injustice in American society. This experience aligns with the school's commitment to promoting educational excellence, cultural awareness, and civic responsibility. Any questions, board?
They still offered for the trip.
All right, I heard a motion from Mr. Lemare. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Linder. Board members, any questions? Ms. Christie, Ms. Williams, did you want to speak?
No, I just wanted to say, well, not really, but I just wanted to say that based on our new mission about boundless opportunities, this trip takes us outside of the classroom and school building and allows the kids to actually live up to our mission of the boundless opportunities.
Thank you, Ms. Williams.
Congratulations on a second year.
All right, board members, anything else? Administration? Audience? All right, let's call this matter to a vote. All those in favor of approving the out-of-state travel for the folks at Phoenix High School signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
Thank y'all.
Yeah.
Give me a chance to-
Let's move on to
We didn't let you get your glory over there.
let's move on to 4.07, discussion and/or action regarding approval of out-of-state travel for students from South Plaquemines High School to visit the Equal Justice Initiative legacy sites in Montgomery, Alabama, October 22nd through 24th, 2025. Ms. Jamie G. Blanchard, CAO.
Yes, sir, thank you. Tonight, I'd like to pass the floor to Ms. Benita Stevens, teacher from South Plaquemines High School, and her students here tonight. I'd like to also recognize Ms. Keoka Chisholm, assistant principal of South Plaquemines, here for joining us.
Good evening. My name is Benita Stevens, and I teach English 1 in ELA Essentials at South Plaquemines High School. And I have 2 of my students here from ELA Essentials and 2 from English 1 Honors, and they want to talk to you about the trip and why it's important that they attend. Come on, girls.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Taraji Washington, and I'm a 9th grade student at South Plaquemines High School, and I would like to attend the trip to Montgomery, Alabama. Our first stop, it would be at the Freedom Rise Museum. The Freedom Rise Museum, located at the former Greyhound bus station, is a powerful testament to nonviolent protest in the face of violent oppression. Students will learn about the young activists, both black and white, who challenged segregation on interstate travel. They will witness the physical space where a violent mob attacked the Freedom Riders, an act of extreme oppression intended to stifle their freedom of movement and protest. This will connect to our essential question. By this site, it will provide a direct and emotional answer to the question. Students will learn how Freedom Riders use nonviolent resistance, bravery, and unwavering commitment to their cause to create a path to freedom. They found freedom not by being passive, but by actively asserting their rights despite grave personal dangers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kelly Cath, and I'm a freshman at South Plaquemines High School. Then we would head to Dr. Richard Harris's house. During the 1955-56 Montgomery bus boycott, Dean Drug Store served as a command center where Dr. Harris played critical roles in communications and transportation. Wearing a headset, he dispatched vehicles while filling precipitation. Dean Drug Store served as a secure meeting place during that turbulent time. Between May 20th to 24, 1961, Dr. Harris opened his home to a group of 33 students from Nashville, Tennessee, who were challenging interstate bus segregation. Known as the Freedom Riders, the group was attacked at the historic Montgomery Greyhound bus station upon arrival and harassed by riders. In the days following the attack, martial law was declared, and Harris's home served as a haven for the Freedom Riders. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. Rav D. Abernathy, James Farmer, John Lewis, Diane Nash, and others met at the Harris house to develop plans and strategy for continuing the rise. On March 24th, after silent prayer, the Freedom Riders were escorted by the National Guard to the Greyhound bus station and continued on with their journey to Jackson, Mississippi. In March 1965, Dr. Harris assisted local black doctors on the grounds of St. Jude's Hospital with medical care of the participants of the historic Selma to Montgomery Voting Rights March. The story of Dr. Harris offers a powerful and emotional response to our essential question. His willingness to live his livelihood in personal safety to treat civil rights activists and offer them a safe place to organize shows that freedom was also found in quiet acts of defiance and in the waving commitment to care for one's community, even under threat.
Thank you.
The next day, we will spend our time immersed in the legacy sites. We will go to the Legacy Museum, the National Memorial for Peace and Justice, and the Freedom Monument Structure Park. Collectively, these three sites provide a comprehensive and deeply moving journey through the history of racial injustice and the fight for human dignity. The Legacy Museum chronicles the history of racial inequality from the era of chattel slavery and the modern mass incarceration. The National Memorial for Peace and Justice is a sacred space dedicated to the victims of racial terror, lynching in America. The Freedom Monument Structure Park features monuments telling the stories of people who were sold into the domestic slave trade. This experience will force students to confront the reality of systemic oppression and its enduring effects. By witnessing the raw data and stock materials of racial injustice, they will gain a profound understanding of the deep-seated nature of oppression. In turn, they will be challenged and considered how acknowledgement and remembrance of this injustice are in themselves a form of freedom. Freedom from distorted or forgotten past, and a path towards a more just future. The monument will show them that even in the face of unspeakable cruelty, the human spirit can resist and endure. With their stories serving as a powerful testament to the ongoing struggle of liberation.
Thank you.
On our way home, we will stop at Tuskegee University. Tuskegee University represents a different yet equally vital aspect of the struggle for freedom, the pursuit of educational and economic empowerment. Founded as a school for African American educators, it is a symbol of self-determination and the belief that education is a powerful tool for liberation from systemic barriers. Students will explore the legacies of Booker T. Washington, George Washington Carver, and the Tuskegee Airmen, all of whom used intelligence, innovation, and perseverance to find success and dignity in a society built on oppression. This connects to our essential question because this visit highlights how freedom can be found and built from within a community. It demonstrates that freedom is not solely about public protests, but also about building institutions, acquiring knowledge, and achieving excellence. The story of Tuskegee shows that people can find freedom from the intellectual and economic oppression of the Jim Crow era through self-reliance and education.
Thank you.
Thank you, Grady.
Board, I don't know if you caught it in each of their readings, but Ms. Stevens, and maybe with the help of Ms. Chisholm, I believe, have tied this trip to one of their units in the ELA classroom. And so when they kept referencing their essential question, that's the question they're studying throughout the unit as they read all of the text throughout the unit. This is going to be such a powerful experience for those kids, those ninth graders that are in English 1 and ELA Essentials. It's really going to bring what they're learning in school to life. So I just want to applaud teacher and administration for pushing this trip and tying it back so brilliantly to what they're studying in class too. So, any further questions? That was a great job.
We approve this trip off.
I second it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lemire and Ms. Turner. I just want to say, students, thank y'all for coming. We love it. Well, I don't know about y'all, but I love it when students come to our meetings because we don't get to see y'all very often. I mean, we'll see you at football games and things around school, but when y'all get to come here, we really appreciate it. Like, it means a lot to us. I mean, we talk to administration and teachers and other folks, but seeing y'all are the ones we do all this for, to make sure that you're getting the best education possible. So thank y'all for coming visit, and thank y'all for coming share a little bit of your trip that you're going on. Well, we have to vote on it, but I expect you're going to vote on it. Board members, anything else?
There's a lot of students signed up. How many, Mr. Lemire?
44.
44 students. And how many from Phoenix?
I think we're 50.
50. So almost 100 of your students.
Enjoy the
Is there anything y'all need us to do other than approve this
That's
as a board?
Well, the next item, we're going to have to.
Okay, because we need to make sure that y'all have a perfect trip. I love history, so, and I mean, I've been to Salmon and Montgomery, so enjoy it all. I wish y'all could walk across the bridge and do all of that stuff. It's so exciting. It's wonderful. And then one day we get to go to DC and really see the African American Museum, which is, yeah. But anyway, I'm sorry.
You don't have to apologize, Mr.
Gotta get off this history.
If you get excited about something, talk about it.
Hey, I love history.
You get excited about it, other people get excited about it. It's good. All right, anything from the audience? All right, any other comments before we vote? All right, let's go ahead and vote to approve. All those in favor of approving this out-of-state travel for South Platte High signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you, board members and Ms. Stevens and Ms. Chisholm. But there's more. 4.08, discussion and/or action regarding approval of board-funded transportation services for South Plaquemines High School students out-of-state travel to the Equal Justice Initiative Legacy Sites in Montgomery, Alabama, October 22nd through 24th, 2025. Jamie Blanchard, CAO.
Thank you. I would like to turn this item over to Ms. Chisholm, the Assistant Principal of South Plaquemines High School.
All right. Ms. Chisholm, come on up to the mic.
Good evening, everyone. I'm coming up to request a 56-passenger charter bus for our kids. That's the extra thing we would need to make sure that this trip, they are able to attend this trip. An itinerary was shared with you guys regarding where the kids are going to visit, and just honing back in on what the kids were saying. I'm going to explain why this trip is important and how it ties back to what they're learning in the classroom. This proposal outlines a field trip to Montgomery, Alabama for the 9th grade class at South Platte High. This trip is designed to serve as a component of our current unit, the struggle for freedom, and will directly address the essential question, how do people find freedom in the midst of oppression? The goal of this trip is to provide students with a tangible connection to the historical narratives that they have been studying. By visiting key sites of the civil rights movement, students will be able to see, feel, and understand the environments in which historical events unfolded. The visit will deepen their comprehension of the sacrifices made, the strategies employed, and the legacy of those who fought for freedom. Again, all of this is aligned with our essential question and our objective. The field trip will meet the following core educational objectives: connect historical events and figures to their physical locations, foster empathy and a deeper understanding of the struggles faced by people in the past, analyzing the methods of resistance, resilience, used to combat systemic oppression, and encourage critical thinking about the meaning of freedom in both an historical and contemporary context. Each plane stop on the trip has been carefully selected for its direct relevance to our essential question. This trip is more than just a sightseeing tour. It is a vital component of our curriculum that will help students transform abstract concepts into living history. By walking the same ground as those who fought for justice, students will gain a deeper appreciation for their courage and a more profound understanding of how freedom is won. At South Platte, we believe this experience is essential for our students' education, and we request your approval and your aid in helping us fund the bus to make this trip possible.
Mr. Lemay?
So off.
Second. Oh, go ahead, Bob, you can second that one.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lemire and Mr. Ingraham. All right, board members, questions, comments, concerns?
That's for both Phoenix
Mhm.
and.
Just for clarity, Phoenix's buses were included in their grant. They had the money to cover that for their grant. But we've already gotten the quotes, the insurances from both bus companies and all that's, taken care of. It'll be right around $5,000 is the only cost, but you have almost 100 students benefiting from this. So I believe it's well worth the opportunity.
Be a volunteer chaperone.
Miss Sonia already said the same as well. You have lots of offers for chaperones, just saying.
I know, the history stuff, like you said, Ms. Turner, is exciting. Like, I took Louisiana history when I was in 8th grade, but I also took it in college. And I remember we had a little section on New Orleans and Reconstruction. And like, I remember when I came back from college one weekend, I went and I just walked around downtown in New Orleans. I looked at statues and looked at plaques. And I just felt like if I could just put my hand on it, like I could connect with history a little bit more. So I invite y'all students to do the same thing, to feel that history as you visit those sites. And like Ms. Blanchard said, and Ms. Stevens and Ms. Chisholm said, you're gonna feel the history. It's gonna connect it all for you. Anything else? Board members, administration, audience?
I just want to say that there's a lady I know who will be gleaming with joy to know that this is going on, because she kind of started a journey like this years ago. This is your retiree of PPSB. Your mom? Yes, ma'am.
Boundless opportunities, right? Isn't that what Ms.
That's
Wilson
right.
said? All right, well, let's call this item to a vote. All those in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. And students, y'all have a great time. Take care of them kids while they're out there. Thank y'all.
Safe trip home. Safe trip home.
Stay safe.
All right, on to our information items we have for tonight. We have the Head Start budget report. Ms. Haydel, do you have any? It's just in the packets. You don't have anything to add, correct? Okay. All right, employment action taken by the superintendent, 5.02 of schools for the 2025-2026 school session. No actions required there. They're all in our board packets. Dr. Ritz, did you have any other information items before we got to the bottom for the next item? You don't have any. You want to just take it all down?
Yeah.
Okay, board members, do y'all have any information items to share at this time?
You have the score? You have the score?
Oh, I can look. Oh, my God. I'll look.
I do have just one thing. Our kids at Phoenix was awarded the internship again, to do another digital storytelling, opportunity, a paid internship, might I say, again. And our first class is Saturday at the Deep South Center, for Environmental Justice. So once again, the kids at Phoenix have a paid internship to do a digital storytelling. And the one they did before was phenomenal, and they
It's really good.
We're working on what we're gonna work on. I don't know what we're doing yet, but they're doing a movie, some kind of type of movie production this time, so.
Yeah, and look,
I'm
call
looking
Mr.
forward to
Allroad too. He'll help
Yes.
develop that into the movie,
Yeah.
level it
So
up a
I'm
little bit
excited
each
about
time.
that. That's it. All I have.
I have a score. Belchase 23 and Willow 0, starting the second quarter. So,
OPC.
go Cards.
All right, anything else, board members? Go ahead, Mr. Lemay.
Since you said that, I said we was gonna whoop Belchase this year, but they beat us 56-0, and they could have beat us worse than that. But we're still number one in the power ranking of our division, so in the state. So I'm still proud of our South Plaquemines Hurricanes, and go Cards tonight and go Canes tomorrow night.
Absolutely.
And we did attend the conference last week, and I will say it's some new information that we really need to share with the board about some things that started changing, and we didn't know anything about it, so that's why it's good to go to those conferences and workshops. It was great. It was great. It really was educational this time, and to learn the new things that are happening. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline that we need to be.
And I have to
on
say,
board with.
Ms.
Yeah.
Turner was, it was mentioned that Ms. Turner will be taken as sort of like an artifact by the executive Dr. Pope, that she's going to take Ms. Turner after she terms out as an example of somebody who really grows in a position beautifully, essentially is what she was saying.
She did.
But
But I wasn't even gonna share that part.
She was proud of it because there are some board members around the state that say things that you're just, and you know, when you see it and you hear it, it was like a wow for us. We were all like,
Yeah, I'm not that bad. I'm just saying. Compared to.
yeah. It was interesting, but it was definitely interesting this time.
So please get a cell phone. If they're offering you a school board cell phone, get one. I'm just saying, get it. Because they can actually, you know, subpoena your phones during the board meeting to see if there was any conversations being had between board members or anything related to school board issues. So I'm just saying, I want my school board phone.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, Dr. Pope laid it on pretty thick for us, and so did the attorney, Dana Garrett. Any thoughts on it?
Good advice.
I'm telling you.
All right, well, let's move on to our next information items that we have. That's 6.01, the superintendent's report. Superintendent's report. Dr. Ritz.
Thank you so much. This is an update as promised. Each month we'll give you, for the next 5 years, an update on where we're going each month and our goals. It's sort of the check-in. So I want to start with first, let's really acknowledge it's the Principal Appreciation Month. Let's start there first. October is Principal Appreciation Month, and it's a time to honor those visionary leaders who really expect academic excellence, cultivate the positive school cultures, and guide both students and staff toward the success. It's their dedication and daily commitment to teaching, learning, community that make the cornerstone of our schools thriving. Let's go back to the academic strategic plan, excellent teaching and learning. Last month, our school leadership teams continued advancing the linked mission measures from the academic strategic plan by embedding them into their daily work of the instructional leadership teams. That's the engine that will turn that vision into action. The ILTs focus on analyzing student data and aligning the instruction to meet every learner's needs. At the September 25th meeting, one administrative team modeled a student data meeting demonstrating how weekly performance tracking drives instructional decisions. The ILT framework also supports the review of teacher practices using the Louisiana Teacher Rubric data, ensuring instructional excellence is strengthened and sustained across all campuses. The robust student opportunities. For the first time in several years, South Plaquemines High School and Belchase High School will proudly represent Plaquemines Parish Schools at the District 6 Marching Festival on Monday, October 27th at Shaw High School. This event gives our students, musicians, the chance to perform before judge members and receive feedback to evaluate their performances. In addition, Belchase High School will also advance to the Louisiana Music Educators, the LMEA, State Marching Band Championships, a remarkable achievement reflecting the talent and dedication of our students, directors, and music program. That will take place in Lake Charles, and you better believe we're going to be in a car going there for that at McNeese. High dosage tutoring is now underway across the district, providing K-6 students with targeted small group instruction for 20 to 30 minutes, at least three times per week, to close some learning gaps and boost achievement. In tandem, a multi-tiered system of supports is being refined across all campuses, and we're actually monitoring a lot of that right now to ensure every student receives timely data-driven support for continued academic success. In the Thriving School Communities piece, recent intruder drills across Plaquemines Parish Schools reaffirmed that our strong commitment to safety. Staff and students responded to a call and precision, coordinating effectively with law enforcement and following established protocols. Strengths included clear communication, collaboration, while other areas for growth involve refresher training, intercom upgrades, and contingency plans. Moving forward, we will enhance the safety through the targeted training, student-centered instruction, and regular system testing, continuing our unwavering dedication to protect our students and every employee. On October 20th to 21st, Mr. Timmy Cuvion, central office staff and Rotary members will visit campuses to celebrate our teachers, employees, and staff members of the year. An uplifting tradition honoring those who embody our district's mission every day. As a reminder, the Educator of the Year Gala will be held on November 20th at the National World War II Museum in New Orleans, where we'll probably recognize the outstanding educators who make Plaquemines Parish a place of excellence and opportunity. In the area of engaged and invested families, on our 2025 and 2026 Student Advisory Group, the SAG, will meet, we'll have our very first meeting on Wednesday, October 22nd, from 10 o'clock to 12:30. 25 leaders from all our high schools will gather together to discuss key topics such as student and professional dress codes and provide feedback to enhance the district programs and practices. The meeting will also include highlights from the academic strategic plan and overview of facilities master plan, ensuring that our students have a strong voice in shaping the future of Plaquemines Parish schools.
Can I ask a question?
Yes,
about that,
sir.
If you don't mind? I know we had talked, some board members and I had talked informally, and I know Ms. Turner led a little charge a couple of years ago, talk about nutrition in schools and food in schools. Is that going to be brought up at any time with this group?
Yes, Ms. Donna Norris is actually coming to the meeting as well.
Okay.
She's on the agenda. I spoke to her last week, and she will be here. We're going to have our first meeting here.
Awesome.
And then we try to go to the different schools for the other meetings. But yeah, Ms. Donna Norris will be there.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Intentional governance. Under the leadership of the board member, Ms. Jamie Sauer, we have successfully completed our review of sections 00, 100, 200, 300, and with section 400 scheduled for the presentation on October 20th policy committee meeting, board members can take pride in the collaborative efforts of our employees who have developed the comprehensive handbooks with clear guidelines and procedures aligned to the board-approved policies. As we move towards finalizing LSBA policy updates, our focus remains on maintaining complementary documents and procedures that are thoughtfully developed, implemented with fidelity, and reviewed annually. With a systematic approach, we will continue to strengthen consistency, transparency, and alignment across all schools, reinforcing our district's unwavering commitment to intentional governance and operational excellence. You notice on the right, these are the ones thus far you have all approved. I think we have at least 15 more that will be brought before you. We met and started with 400 with the finance team last week, and they have procedural books and so forth as well. And once again, it's going to give you a chance to see how the inner workings that complement the policies you're approving. Any questions?
SOPs are important. You need those standard operating procedures that
Yes.
drive the business of the business. Or
Yes, sir.
The district.
Yes, sir. Any questions?
No question. I just wanted to put on your radar again about us visiting the schools.
Yes.
If we can set up.
We we were thinking about, I don't want to call it a retreat, on our way over, scheduling 2 visits, one in Lafayette and one in Ascension. So that's been the discussions. We actually met, can't think of the assistant superintendent's name in Lafayette. Thank you. We spoke with him at the law conference and gave him heads up that would contact him with a specific date and time. And then Dr. Edith Walker for East Ascension possibly to go see what that one looks like, or possibly Prairieville.
Well, I was talking about us visiting our schools.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Which I like that one as well, but
My apologies.
Just to bring it home a little bit, just can we get outside of the boardroom and just,
Y'all tell me when and where. We'll work on it.
You tell us what's a good time,
Okay.
with everything that's going on.
Sure, I'll be
And I
happy
know
to.
everybody has to coordinate the schedule.
Will do, will do.
And we'll have to do it. We'll have to do it in groups, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
For
I'll
open
schedule that.
meeting- for open meeting stuff.
Yeah.
No problem. Would y'all like that more so in November time or December time?
I like November.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Second, third week of November is pretty good for me.
Thanksgiving tour.
Is there turkey?
Oh, well, no, serving Thanksgiving meals. Look, that's a big day. You have to understand those cafeterias, they make good Thanksgiving meals. They really do.
No, I'm open to it. I just
Okay.
feel like we need to get,
Okay.
back into.
No problem. It'll be nice because, before it was just the board meetings, the kids really didn't see you. But during the day walking will be nice. They'll see you.
That's right.
Yeah, so we'll schedule some tours.
All right, we talked a little bit about policy already, but I know Ms. Sauer has some policy updates for us with what the policy committee is doing. So, Ms. Sauer, what you got?
Good evening. Policy committee is doing amazing things.
Yeah.
Good job, team. Dr. Ritz pretty much covered all of it. I had pretty much the same thing down, but again, I'm grateful for the hard work that everyone's been putting in, the patience that we've all been putting in. Again, we've done the zero, the policy disclaimers, definitions, protocol, series 100, board structure, series 200, board meetings, series 300, administration, and we're moving right along to series 400, financial management, which I know you would love.
I'm interested in.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you to Catherine and her team because they met with Dr. Ritz and they went over some things, and we're going to go over some things again this week so that we're all prepared for our October 20th meeting. Sonia gave out some more 400s today, so Mrs. Singer, Jennifer Singer is the only one who needs it. I passed it out. Yeah. So everyone should have a crosswalk and Series 400. We just need to get one for Jennifer Singer. And that's about it. And I will say, we were telling people at the conference, the crosswalk, like just keep it in your on your computer, in your backpack, wherever, because the crosswalk is like the key to everything and just makes life so much easier for us. So.
And what was that date again? For those
October 20th.
October 20th. And
It's a Monday night.
Refresh my memory. Aren't all committee meetings open to the public?
They are.
Yeah. So if you want to come see how the sausage is made, come check it out.
Absolutely. I highly recommend policy committee meetings.
That's right. Because we get into the nitty gritty on it.
We do, and we have, good conversations with love.
Say it with love.
We say it with love.
We have honoree.
Yes.
Members.
We have guest policy members. No, but it's good stuff, and it really helps you, to understand what's going on.
Yeah. It's the
behind
workings of the
business.
board, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
What was funny at the conference when Dr. Pope would mention a particular policy, she was like, "Oh, that's 300. I believe 307.1." I'm like, "Are you serious?" So yes, that's all.
I'm in my policy era. I mean.
And
All right,
please,
any
one
questions?
last thing, let's keep the Arbor family in our prayers.
Yes,
I was just thinking that.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. We're sorry that Miss Arbor's not here tonight. We definitely understand.
Yes.
And thoughts and prayers. All right. Anything else before we move on to our last two items?
Oh, I do. I'm looking at you and I'm thinking about the Halloween. Yes.
Trunk or treat.
Yes. I looked at you twice and it was on my mind to say that. October 28th.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can't make it, we can donate.
Definitely can donate.
We can drop off some candy or something, of course.
That's
All
it.
right. Okay, folks. Well, I see that we're getting close to 2 hours, so let's go ahead and wrap this up. Item number 7, or section number 7, is the date, time, and location of our next meeting. And I'm sure it won't be a surprise to anyone that our next meeting will be right here at the Plaquemine School Board, Woodland Central Office, 1484 Woodland Highway, Room 100, Bellchase, Louisiana 70037. That'll be Thursday, November 6th, 2025, 6 p.m. Set your watches. Do I hear a meeting Do I hear a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So often.
Thank you, Ms. Turner. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Linder. I'm not going to call for any discussion unless somebody has something really important. I didn't think anybody would. Let's call this to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 7-0. Let's get out of here. Meeting adjourned at 7:54 p.m. I gotta go.